Hello and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. This one is transfer plans for game week 22. Now, not all the games in game week 21 have finished yet. I'm recording this on Wednesday, so still got a fair few games to go, but we'll have a look at how I've got on in game week 21 so far, and then we will have a look at how my team looks for game week 22 and my future plans. So, as you can see on screen, 40 points, which is a game week rank of 947,000 at the moment. That has moved my overall rank from 102k to 70k, so a nice green arrow at the moment. However, we're only about halfway through the game week, so isn't too much to shout about just yet. I've got Verbruggen with Ipswich away still to play. Not expecting much there, albeit it is quite a good fixture. It's away from home. Ipswich do just seem to find a way to score at the moment, and Brighton defence isn't the best at the moment, so not expecting loads there. I've got Lewis Hall with Wolves at home, fantastic fixture. He is quite highly owned, so him getting a load of points won't affect me too much. Then we've got Munoz. Now, he is not that highly owned, so if he goes big, then that would be really, really nice for me. Trent with 2 points. It was a tough fixture. Nottingham Forest are good, and yeah, wasn't expecting loads from them anyway, to be honest. I was never considering benching him or anything like that. I mean, you can see Lewis got 0, he didn't even play. Castan got 0 as well, albeit he was quite attacking, so happy I've got him. But yeah, Trent with 2, not ideal. Salah with 2 points as well, which is actually kind of good because his ownership was massive. A lot of people captained him, so any points that he got would have probably hurt my rank because I captained Palmer instead, but we'll get onto that. Then I've got Eze with Leicester away. Again, he's not that highly owned, so any points from Eze would be really nice. He's been brilliant since I bought him in. He's got a goal and he's got 1 assist in 2 games, so hoping that he can get something in a very nice and friendly fixture. Semenyo, 12 points. This is why I kept him. He is absolutely brilliant. His numbers have been brilliant. Bournemouth's numbers have been brilliant. The fixture was always okay, to be honest. I mean, Chelsea aren't the best defence, so, and Bournemouth are just a very, very good attack, so I don't mind playing him against most teams. Like I say, his numbers were good. I was never going to sell him. For his price, he's just unbelievable. And a lot of people did sell him, so he was very, very low owned. I think he's in the 3 point something percent owned. He I don't know why more people don't own him, to be honest. He's brilliant. Then Palmer with 10 points. I had him captain. He could have got a bit more, to be honest, but he got a free bonus, which is nice. Jackson got the assist for his goal. It was unbelievable play from Jackson to set up that goal. However, Jackson missed a lot of chances. Jackson could have absolutely hauled. However, well, we'll get on to Jackson in a second actually. I've got Bruno Fernandes still to come. He's my vice captain, albeit that doesn't matter. Southampton at home is an unbelievable fixture, of course. My transfer was Mbeumo to Bruno Fernandes, and I'm happy I made that, obviously. Mbeumo didn't get any points against City, albeit he came close to getting points. Mbeumo now has Liverpool as well up next, so the fixtures really weren't there for Mbeumo. I don't know if I'll get him back. From game week 24, his fixtures are nice, but Bruno is probably just as good during that period, so if I've got the moves to do it, then I'll get him back in. But yeah, Bruno Fernandes is looking good for the next few weeks for sure. Now on to Jackson. Yeah, so first half an hour, he played absolutely fantastic. Set up Palmer's goal out of absolutely nothing. Had 3 players on him, and he's managed to wiggle them off and play a really nice ball through to Palmer. He then did a similar thing again, where he's been given the ball, he's held it up, and he's made an attack again out of not a lot. Hit the post. And then in the second half, he continued to miss about 3 unbelievable chances. So I've seen a lot of people are getting frustrated with him and are looking to sell him. Now, I do get it because he has been frustrating to own. all his data has been brilliant, and he just hasn't scored and hasn't got the goals. And Chris Wood plays Southampton at home in Game Week 22, so it's a good week to bring Chris Wood in, albeit his fixtures after that aren't the best, but him and Nottingham Forest are just so good right now. For me, Jackson's going absolutely nowhere. I mean, I may touch on it a little bit more when I talk about transfers and stuff, but the fact that the Chelsea attack is one of the best in the league, that goes without saying. They create a ridiculous amount of chances, and Jackson is so good at getting chances. There's not many strikers who can get as many chances as he can. His movement is fantastic, his positioning is fantastic. At the moment, his finishing is terrible, so he's not scoring the goals, but that is a much easier thing to work on. If you look at two different types of strikers, for example, Jackson just gets so many chances, but his finishing is not good, really not good. And then there's another player whose finishing might be good, but he gets one chance a game maybe. So to be honest, it's not that dissimilar to what Chris Wood is doing right now. And I get that you're just going to ride the hot hand necessarily in Chris Wood, but I'd much rather, for predicting future points, I think that it's better to play and get a player who is getting more chances. I can't see many professional footballers just continuing to miss chance after chance after chance forever. That is very, very unlikely. It's much easier to fix finishing than it is to fix getting chances. So I'm not saying that Chris Wood isn't a good buy. Chris Wood's a fantastic buy. He's been overachieving from his XG and everything like that, but at some point you've just got to ride it and just go with it. While he's on this wave, just jump on it, which I completely get, but I have no plans to sell Jackson. His fixtures are unbelievable. He has Wolves at home next week, then it's City, then it's West Ham. In a couple of weeks after that, he's got Southampton at home, Leicester at home. So for me, he's going absolutely nowhere. Then we have Alexander Isak, Wolves at home. Another fantastic fixture for him. I think he might be in a similar position to Salah, where any points he gets are actually detrimental to my rank because he's owned by so many people and he's captained by quite a lot of people as well. But it is what it is. And then João Pedro's on the bench because he seemed to pick up some sort of ankle injury, and I didn't trust that he'd get good minutes, especially when the rest of my 7 attackers are all really good. I didn't need to take that risk. If my 8th attacker wasn't very good, then I maybe would have taken the risk on João Pedro, but I just didn't need to because my other players are all good. So yeah, at the moment on a nice green arrow, but that can all change. We've still got about half the games to go. But let's have a look at how I'm lined up for Game Week 22 and my transfer plans going forward. Okay, and on screen is my team, how I'm lined up for Game Week 22 at the moment. As you can see, I have 4 free transfers. I have 0.5 million in the bank. So I've got Fabianski in goal here. I don't know if that's where I'll land. Usually if I've got a goalkeeper or a defender decision that's close, then one thing that I tend to think about is if I've got any attackers playing against them. This doesn't work for this week because I've got Eze playing against Fabianski and I've got Bruno playing against Verbruggen. So either way, I've got an attacker playing against a defender. I'm probably just going to go with the home fixture, and both Brighton and West Ham defences aren't the best at the moment. So I'll go with the home fixture, I think, albeit I'd probably rather neither of them kept a clean sheet and my attackers just scored. But it is what it is. They're goalkeepers. I'm not really fussed by them. One thing that I could think about doing actually is moving Verbruggen onto Pickford. Now, the reason I'm thinking about that is because I will probably do that at some point anyway to get a double game week goalkeeper, where the double game week is in Game Week 24. Obviously, I don't need to do that move this week because I've got 4 free transfers. I can just roll and do that move next week, but that might be quite a nice way to get a goalkeeper that isn't playing against any of my forwards. So I will definitely be thinking about that, but at the moment I've got Fabianski in there. Now all 5 of my defenders could be playing this week. I've got Lewis Hall with Bournemouth at home. Fantastic fixture. I've got Castan with Leicester away, brilliant fixture. Maybe not so much for the defence, but for his attacking output, and his attacking output is very good. Robinson got the assists in game week 21, but Castan is getting just as far forward. Then I've got Trent with Brentford away, obviously unbelievable fixture. I suppose there is a small chance that he gets benched for this, given that Conor Bradley is back and Trent did put in a horrible performance the other week against United. Then on the bench I've got Munoz with West Ham away. Again, defensively it's not the best just because West Ham can score and have scored recently, but he is so attacking that I just hate benching him ever, to be honest. So there's a chance I play him. And then Lewis has got Ipswich away, probably the worst out of the bunch. Well, maybe not fixture wise, but we just don't know if he'll play week on week. And again, he's one that I'm looking at selling for a player that doubles in game week 24, whether that be a Liverpool defender, whether that be Mikalenko or any other Everton defender. I'm not sure who it will be yet. And again, I could be doing that this week, but there's not really any point in making that move early when I can just roll and make it nearer the time. If I were to roll this week, I would have to make one of those next week in preparation for game week 24, because I'd have 5 free transfers if I was to roll, and that means I'd have to use one next week or burn. But yeah, that's fine. It's not really something I need to think about this week anyway. So yeah, I do have a bit of a benching headache because I do want to play Munoz, but I'm not sure who out of those 3 to bench. I'll have a think about that. Then I've got Salah with Brentford away. Obviously, Brentford defence isn't ideal. It's not a good fix. It's not a good defence, so I'm happy playing Salah in that. Potentially captain him, but I'll talk about captain in a second. Eze has West Ham away, so again, this is playing against my goalkeeper potentially, but West Ham defence is pretty poor, so I'd back Eze to get something here. Semenyo has Newcastle away. Again, it's another situation. I've got it twice where Semenyo is playing against Hall, my defender, so it's annoying because obviously they can still both return. Like Semenyo can score and Hall can get an attack in return, but Hall can't get a clean sheet without Bournemouth scoring. So yeah, it's a difficult one, but not every week can you avoid an attacker playing against a defender. And Semenyo is great, Hall's great, so it is what it is. Then we have Cole Palmer with Wolves at home. He will probably be my captain this week, I think. I really like Wolves at home as a fixture. I think Wolves are really struggling at the moment, and it's quite close between Salah with Brentford away and Palmer with Wolves at home, but I think I may just go with the home fixture. Yet to decide on that. I'll talk more about that on my captaincy model video and then my team selection video as well. Bruno Fernandes has Brighton at home. Again, Brighton defence just isn't it right now. Verbruggen's got me hardly any points, so playing a player against them is always going to be good. Then Jackson with Wolves at home. As I mentioned before, very happy to keep Jackson. I've got no problems whatsoever there. And Isak with Bournemouth at home. So they've actually got the reverse fixtures of game week 21, Newcastle and Chelsea. So happy with both of them. Both defences susceptible to conceding a lot of chances, so all good there. Then I've got João Pedro on the bench with Man United away. Not the best fixture anyway. I guess if João Pedro was fully fit and we knew he was fine, then there'd be a conversation between benching João Pedro or benching Semenyo. Especially as if I bench Semenyo, then I wouldn't be playing Semenyo against Hall, which is quite nice, but we will have to wait and see on João Pedro. Obviously, I'm recording this before Brighton's game against Ipswich in game week 21. We'll know more information about João Pedro after that, as whether he starts, whether he's in the squad, whether he is a sub and comes on. We'll know a little bit more, so I can talk about that decision a bit more in the team selection video later in the week. But yeah, I'm really happy with my team this week, to be honest. As I said, I do have attackers facing defenders, but can't be perfect every week. And the only moves I've got kind of to think about are getting double game week 24 players in. So getting a third Liverpool player, whether that be Gakpo, whether that be Konate, could be Alisson as well, I guess, although I probably can't afford him. Then also Everton players. So some nice cheap Everton players could work. I probably won't get 3 Everton players just because Everton are terrible, but I will probably get at least one. I think I'll probably do Verbruggen to Pickford, whether that be next week or the week after, I'm not sure. And then I'll also sell Lewis, and he'll either go to Konate or a defender for Everton. So they're the moves I'm currently looking at, but nothing this week unless we get an injury or a suspension or something that changes the thinking in these Wednesday and Thursday games. Then this is where I'm at. I'm really happy with where my team's at. Like I say, I've got a lot of free transfers to deal with the double and also to deal with the blank that's going to happen in game week 29. My current thoughts on chips are I've still got my triple captain, so I'm going to play that hopefully on Salah in double game week 24. Then what I'll likely do is dead end into game week 29 and then probably wildcard in game week 30 so that I can then prepare for the bench boost and the assistant manager chip, which will all come after game week 30. So I don't need to worry about them yet. But yeah, that's all for this one. If you've got any questions on my team, on your team, drop them in the comments. If you like the video, do hit like, do subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.